What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another live stream. And what day is it? Thursday. Happy Thursday, people. Big up to everybody locked in the community. Cheeky Nando's last night for Arsenal, people. You know what I mean? Extra hot. Side dish settings. Easy work as usual. In fact, it should have been even easier, to be honest, man. We should have absolutely annihilated them, to be totally honest. But big up to everyone tuned in today. Really appreciate the support on last night's watch along, and a better feeling as an Arsenal fan today. It's not enough, people, as Kendrick's been saying on his new record, but you know, it's a starting point. But we need more. We need signings. We need strikers. We need goal scorers. We need to win trophies, people. We need to win trophies. Beating Tottenham, enjoy it for a day, 24 hours, laugh at them, move on, get back to business. Focus on what is ahead of us, people. Big up to everyone tuned in. Hope you are well. Greetings, brother C. Big up Arsenal future. Big up Zeke's, not going to lie, the baddest community upon YouTube. Big up yourself, brother. Come on, man. C-Unit business. We ain't playing it. Big up Zach, man. Big up Big C. Marcus said the Sol Campbell video made that win even sweeter. That's just the perfect video. Finally, a North London derby win at home. We always beat them at home. We battered them for years, bro. We've been cooking them at home. Cheeky Nando's. You know what I mean? We were peckish last night. Link with everyone, sign nobody, Arsenal. Big up C-Unit, says Mohammed. Where was Josh Kroenke? We never saw him. Big up, get that stinking fraud Arteta out with the super sticker. I hope you're well. And big up Whammer, who said, big up Big C and the community. Yes, we need at least 2 signings. Do you think Miles Lewis-Skelly will be a left 8 in the future? And listen, we're going to talk in more detail about his performance. I think you got to look at it. Trent was a centre mid. He got in the team as a right back at Liverpool. And the thought process was that Trent will always end up back in midfield. The reality is, when he went into midfield for England, he wasn't very good. So it depends how long they leave him there. I'm looking at Lewis-Skelly at left back at the moment, and I'm thinking, bro, you can become an elite left back. Inverting, so you do still step into midfield. Can he actually start in the left 8 role and be that good? Because I think once he goes left 8, there's more responsibility on him. I think he then has to score goals. He has to join in. Can he do that? Listen, maybe we'll see it before the end of the season. If we win the next Champions League game, there's a good chance we've qualified. Maybe in that last Champions League game, we can put him in the 8 role. So we'll see. Yeah, Ashley Cole was a left winger. He ended up being arguably our greatest ever left back. So who knows? Stand up if you hate Tottenham. I mean, I can't ignore that. Oh man, you know what, man? I know I always complain about merch and that, but I always love this hoodie. You know, I wore it too many times. It's fading. Anyway, big up Don Arsenal. Everyone, Tierney comes on. He creates an early assist. But Sterling and Ødegaard missed the chances. Let's get one thing clear. And Don, I'm going to give you some of the credit for this. I'm sorry, I don't know if anybody else is thinking this. I want Kieran Tierney to stay at this football club. I'm saying it loud and clear. I want Kieran Tierney to stay at this football club. I'm more than happy next season if the Arsenal left backs are Lewis-Skelly and Kieran Tierney. Calafiori can play there in an emergency. Get rid of Zinchenko. Get rid of Kivior. What the hell are we letting this guy go for? Oh, but he's injury prone. No, Zinchenko's injury prone. Tomiyasu's injury prone, bro. I would keep Kieran Tierney. I would keep him. What are we letting him go? We ain't going to get no money for him. Look at the cross he put in yesterday straight away. Ødegaard, if he didn't have pillows on his feet, he would have scored. I don't know. Maybe I'm caught up. I don't know what it is about Tierney, but I'm a fan. But can he stay fit? That's the problem. I suppose maybe I'm getting caught up in what I think he's capable of being rather than maybe what he is. I don't know. You know what? Let's get a poll out. More polls than a strip club. I used to say ATL strip club, but Dre says Miami strip clubs are the place to be, you know. So we'll say more polls than a Miami strip club. let's do a poll. Would you keep Kieran Tierney? I would keep him. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm caught up in the hype and the emotion. Would you keep Kieran Tierney next season? Would you keep Tierney next season? Let me know, people. The poll is out. I just think he's a proper left back. I'm sick of seeing centre backs at left back and just play a left back at left back. What, you know what I mean? And I'm hoping that the fact that the manager's bringing him on, he maybe will change his mind if his attitude's right and he keeps fit and he keeps putting in good deliveries like that. And, you know, I saw him celebrating at the end of the game. I'm like, bro, this guy loves the club. He doesn't look like he's in a rush to go. Get rid of Zinchenko. Get rid of Kivior. You've got Lewis Skelly, Tierney as your two left backs. Calafiori can go there. Timber can go there when Ben White's fit. You've got 4 options. I would keep him, but let me know what you think. Is he too injury prone? Am I getting caught up in the hype, people? They say you should reuse Tesco bags. There you go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you get the bag out, you hang it on the side, you start putting the rubbish in there, you know? Anyway, we're going to get into transfer talk shortly. Cooper, big up for the super sticker. And Big C, in your player ratings, Trossard gets minimum 7 for the goal and violating Porro. Did him so bad the ref had to stop play. Big up, Dutty Biggs. Bro, I mean, listen. Do you think I haven't come prepared for... You know me, I'm a hype merchant. If you nutmeg somebody, if you twist somebody up, if your celebrations are mad passionate, I'm going to get caught up in the hype. I mean, listen. I'm a big basketball fan. You either dunk on somebody or you break their ankles. This was an elite ankle breaker. This was Allen Iverson. This was Steph Curry. This was Kyrie Irving. This was my blood clot back boy. I mean, in that picture on the right, Porro looks like he's breakdancing for Run DMC. I thought he went to New York and started breakdancing. I said, what's he doing? What the hell is he doing? The ref had to blow the whistle. He said, I think he's broke his back. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I said, nah, Trossard, man. I've been calling you Stella R. Trossard for a long time, but they say the truth comes out when you're drunk. And I thought he was out for 6 months the way he did that. Bro, I'm telling you, that was wow. I feel good. What the hell, bro? I said, yo, he's going to have to go with Jesus. This could be an ACL injury. I can't believe he ran it off. That was violence. Do you know what it is at Arsenal? We're starving for some sauce, some seasoning in the attack, people. You know what I mean? We're going to talk about that attack later on, you know. But it was crazy. I'm telling you, that was, you're right. It was hammer time. Stop. Hammer time. Oh. It was madness. No, I love it. I love it. The Cruyff turn of dreams from Leandro Trossard. Trossard's one of them players, I'll be honest. I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm going, look at the state of this guy. Kung Fu Panda, playing like he's drunk. Can't run past the fullback. Then Cruyff turns in, makes him start breakdancing. Then he scores a goal, does a great celebration. And I'm like... okay, leave him there a little bit longer, you know. Do you know what it is, people? Our front line is just plain chicken. I don't know if I told you this story before, Anna, but when I used to play professional, pre-match meal often was chicken. But they give us some plain, dry chicken that they've boiled in just salt and water. And it got to the point I used to bring sauce in the inside pocket. Inside pocket job of the tracksuit. I'd pull out a little bottle of sauce. I had to put some hot sauce on it or a little seasoning on it. I said, brother, I've got a game today. You're feeding me some dry chicken in plain water. What? No sauce? Nah, no sauce. I said, brother, I can't eat that. I didn't grow up eating dry chicken with no flavor. Rice and chicken with no sauce. I said, yo, you're feeding that to the wrong person. Inside pocket, I'm pulling out hot pepper sauce. Yeah, man. Season that up. I need something. I'm leaving here with something, people. And that's what it is with this Arsenal front line. Our front line at the moment is boiled chicken with no seasoning. I mean, Raheem Sterling as a Jamaican man. I expect a little seasoning in your style of play, brother. You're moving like You know, them ashy, dry knees when you come out the shower, or, you know, and you need that cocoa butter, bro. Man's dry, right? Havertz, dry, people. So Trossard, a little something, you know, we appreciate it. We dumped on Tottenham. I always expect us to dump on Tottenham, people. I always expect us to dump on Tottenham. I really do. I don't actually get that hyped with it. Because it's only Tottenham. They don't win nothing. I expect us to mash work against them lot, you know? Shea Butter, yeah, man, you know what I mean? But we're going to do the player ratings. Then we'll get into the transfer news. Do we start with the transfer news? Let's get the game out the way. Let's get the game out the way, then we'll get into the transfer news. Big up Callum, who said, hey, Big C, never commented before. Just wanted to say you help a lot of people out here struggling. Just by your energy and vibes, it means a lot. Big up the community. Yo, I'm telling you, people, community, man, we help each other. This was my biggest thing about building a community. Vibes, you know. I don't want it to be a regular up and down YouTube channel and, you know, making it look like I'm on Sky Sports News, you know, reading off the tunnel. This is just vibes, people. Anything can go on. So big up to you, Callum. Appreciate it. Big up the whole community as always. And big up Ashley, who has become a new member on the channel. We're due a member stream. Definitely due a member stream, by the way. And we haven't done one for a little while. Background, had to. I've even moved to the side because I realized when I'm sitting in the middle, I'm blocking his face. You don't even know who that is. That could be Julio Baptista. I got to move out the way for this guy. I got to move out the way. This guy is becoming my favorite Arsenal player. I don't know what it is. I can't help it. I can't help it. You know what's funny? Cruz has been telling me for a while. I used to say, yo, Saliba, man, what a player. Saliba, he said, yeah, Dad, I love Saliba, you know. But I like Gabriel more. And I used to say, yo, relax, man. Like Saliba, Rolls Royce. He said, nah, I like Gabriel, man. He's more passionate and he just feels like more of an Arsenal guy. Like, I said, yeah, okay. And then now I am actually starting to see it like that. Like, I love Saliba, you know. But I feel like Saliba, you know, like when... You know, like when you're chatting to a girl, but you feel like she might be speaking to somebody else as well, so she never gets your full commitment. We know that Saliba's texting Real Madrid at night in his house, so we're like, you know what, Saliba, we love you, but we know at some point there's a separation going to happen. With Gabriel, we feel like he's fully committed to the club. It's like that girl that wants to marry you and settle down. Gabriel, it's like, I feel like you're going to become an Arsenal legend, bro. Saliba is like the year 9 in school who somebody tries to start on him and you say, yo, tomorrow you're in trouble. My brother's coming to see you, my older brother. Saliba goes home, brings Gabriel to school, and he just starts knocking people out on site. Year 11, the big bro. Yo, there's his brother Gabriel, quick, get in the car. Gabby don't play, people. I'm telling you, Gabby don't play. I love this guy. I don't care. That's big bro. You try it with anyone in our team, this guy's coming. Just don't hit him in the teeth because I'm not sure how secure they are. But he should be the skipper. He's the skipper without the armband for me. Absolutely love this guy. He deserves the green screen. Zach said Gabriel and Saliba are the joint best in the world. What, are you talking partnership or... I would still say that... I would still say Van Dijk's number 1. I'm going to be honest. Just because of the pressure cooker. He's been there and done it. He's won the title. He's played in Champions League finals. I think those guys have got to get over that hurdle first. And a story's come out today. I will briefly go over that when we get into the transfer part. Why do you always use Gal to explain? I don't know. But it just, you know... I don't know why I do, actually. But it made sense. As a partnership, they're up there. They're up there with anybody. But I would still put Van Dijk just ahead of them. But they're hunting down, you know. They're hunting down. Right, let's go over last night's game. Get it out of the way. And then we'll concentrate on transfers. Because there is big news coming out of Arsenal today. It looks like we're making a move. No, you're not blocked. You're there. Just be patient. Van Dijk ain't number one. Who is, bro? Who is? For me, Van Dijk's been number one for a while. To be honest, considering he's had an ACL injury as well, I think he is outrageous. Trophies certify their status, and Saliba said that himself. I need to win titles to be considered the best. Let's go over last night's game. I think it's criminal that was given as a Solanke own goal, man. I mean, was it on target, the header, before it hit Solanke? I don't know. Maybe not, but I'm calling it a Gabriel goal, man. I don't care. Solanke's an Arsenal fan, so respect, respect. Once a Gooner, always a Gooner. Just palmed it into the corner of the net. Leandro Trossard. Son gave them the lead. Yo, let them know, man. Let me not start. Don't get me started. I don't know about them big tunes there, man. Anyway, Son gave them the lead. I was fuming. I was absolutely fuming. I couldn't believe that Son was unmarked on the edge of the penalty area from a corner. Volleys it, deflected, bottom corner. I don't know if anyone... I don't want to turn this into any sort of big deal, by the way. I don't know if I've been just caught in my emotions the last couple of weeks, but has Raya had a few dodgy moments at some of these goals? I don't know about whether the goal last night, but sometimes things are happening at Arsenal, and I'm sort of thinking, would a better keeper have done better than what Raya did? Am I nitpicking here, people? I don't know. I don't know if I'm still not over the penalties the other day with Raya, but I don't know. Let me know in the... Maybe no chance yesterday, but Curtis had a meltdown when they scored. I said I couldn't deal with them beating us, honestly. I would have been going absolutely mental. But anyway, 1-0 up. Set piece, header, deflection, scores. Trossard, bang, left foot, bottom corner. Goalkeeper should have saved it, probably. Who cares? Job done. Would you do a cheeky Nando's and take some from Spurs? Nah. Would you do a Sol Campbell, and take some from... Bro, look at Son yesterday. I'll be honest, I think Son has been a fantastic player. I can't believe he's never left. But apart from the goal, he did nothing. He looks kind of washed. He's still got quality, but I wouldn't want him. And then Trossard with the winner. The only thing I will say about this game that disappoints me, there is no way Tottenham should have left that stadium with a 2-1 defeat. Absolutely no chance. If we had a half-decent striker and a half-decent winger on the pitch yesterday, we would have left with minimum 4-1. Minimum 4-1. They were actually there to get battered yesterday. It's like a boxer who's put his hands down and you just punch him in the face and knock him out. I seen the Declan Rice clip. Banging. But 2-1 is 2-1. We'd have took the win before, so yeah, it is what it is. The result was better than the performance, but of course we can enjoy it. 54% possession, only 4 shots on target out of 14. Our finishing is still not good enough. Ødegaard should have scored. Havertz could have scored. Sterling could have scored in that first couple of minutes, tried to take it around the goalkeeper. We just can't shoot. I don't know what the problem is, but let's get into player ratings. There was 2 standout performances, a couple of others who did well, and a couple who did not do so well. One in particular that I was defending, and yeah, we're going to get into that one, people. Let's start with David Raya. 6 out of 10 for me. Initially, I thought he could have done more with the goal. It did get a deflection. Not a lot to talk about, really. I'll give him a 6 out of 10. I just thought it was an average performance for David Raya. 7, do you think? 7? I would say a 6 for me. Only player I'm taking from Spurs is Kulusevski, says Neil. Boyhood Arsenal fan as well. How the hell are Son and Ødegaard leading these clubs out on the pitch? Soft. It's interesting. Raya 7, Raya 6, 4, 7 for the Techers, someone said. 6 again. 6 at best. I thought it was a 6. It was a standard performance, in my opinion. Zach said Gabriel and Saliba are the joint best in the world. David said, I'm really struggling to find my passion for watching Arsenal this year. I promised myself to stop screaming at the TV and get the side eye from my girl. You start the season thinking this is our year, we're going to win it, you're hyped. Then it feels like it's slipping away from you and you lose enthusiasm. Because Liverpool drew and we won, we're 4 behind, they've got a game in hand, you start to believe again. I'm reserving I'm trying to keep the excitement and the anger and frustration calm. But Ross said we got the Cocoa Pops, but no milk. Sent them to the shops. They came back with half the shopping list, you know. Tekka's was the best highlight for Rare. The Tekka's was good. Kulusevski save was good, actually. That was a good save. Let's go into the back four. I'll start with Timber and Saliba. I thought we conceded a bad goal. It wasn't the defender's fault. Apart from that, they didn't do anything. Son did nothing against Timber. Solanke didn't do anything against our back four. So I'll give those two both a 7. Timber and Saliba for me. Timber, ACL injury. I might give Timber more. I was tempted to give Timber more than Saliba, but Saliba was good as well. 7.5. I think we've got to be very careful about how we manage Timber. I think as soon as we've got a game where we think we can manage this without him, I think you've got to take him out of the team. I'm very concerned about Timber playing every week. That ACL injury, I've seen players come back from ACL injuries. You've got to be very, very careful. Do you blame him for the shot? I think it did deflect off Saliba. But he made a few great challenges as well. I thought Timber put in a good shift, man. He's played a lot of football, came off with cramp the other day. Yet he turns up and plays 90 minutes in the derby and he's solid and he pocketed Son. The goal that Son scored was nothing to do with him. I give them both 7.5. Timber looks knackered for me. The sooner Ben White's back, the better. Not because Timber needs dropping. He needs somebody that can rotate with him. He's playing way too much football. 7.5 for those two. These next two. Miles Lewis-Skelly. 18 years of age. Does brilliant against Kulusevski. Then they move him central. And then he does brilliant against Brennan Johnson. I mean, I don't rate Brennan Johnson at all. Kulusevski's all right. He's probably been better in the central area. We've had Kieran Tierney, 25 million, injury prone, but I do like him, as you can see on the poll. Zinchenko, 35 million. Calafiori, 40 million. And Kivior, 20 million plus add-ons. Lewis-Skelly looks better than maybe all of them. Kieran Tierney possibly is the exception, but Tierney doesn't invert the way he does. He has looked absolutely outstanding in these few games. He knows what it means to play for Arsenal. You know, sometimes as a fan, as difficult as it is, your team doesn't win. The frustration with Arsenal is when we haven't done what we should as a club in the transfer window, and then we lose games because we're short in certain areas of the pitch. But you know, when the team represents you in the right manner and you feel like you can connect with them, you have a real sense of connection to your club. Lewis-Skelly knew exactly what it meant yesterday to play for Arsenal. Arguing. Did you see the way he clattered Sarr in the first half? He put him in the air, flipped him over. They're trying to push him off the pitch. He's hyping up the fans. You're 18 years of age, bro. The guy was born in 2006. 2006, bro. 2006. I was in Iron Apple. 5 a.m. Club Ice. If you've been Iron Apple, you know what I'm talking about. I was on the strip, out here. This guy was born 2006. Are you mad? What a player, man. Him and Waneri. I'm sorry for me. 18 years of age. Nobody troubled him going forward. I'm giving him 10 out of 10. I don't care what anybody says. He's getting a 10. He's one of our own. Lewis-Skelly. He's one of our own. 10 out of 10. He's actually not getting man of the match, though. Salman said 2006, I was in Afghanistan. Bro, you had to outdo me, didn't you? You had to outdo me. I'm in Iron Apple, Club Ice, Club Black and White, on the strip, vibing, funky house music, Vibes Cartel Bashment. You got to come here and say I was in Afghanistan. You was out in the field. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. I'll give it to you. He was in a more serious situation. You know, he was in a more serious situation. Although it did get, you know, crazy in Iron Apple at times, people. You heard them songs back in the day, man. You know what I mean? But hey, it is what it is. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Man came in and outdone me. I'm like, yo, Iron Apple. Man said, yo, I was in Afghanistan. All right, cool. TV1 said I was on the moon. Yeah, how about that, mate? He was on the moon. One giant leap from mankind. You know what I mean? 2006, mate, I was watching Arsenal lose to Barcelona in tears. Now, I wasn't in tears, but I do think the eyes got watery. You know, the angry tears, where you're actually angry, like, are you crying? No. I'm just tired. I'm yawning. It was one of them. Thierry missed the one-on-one, and Almunia got done at the near post. Are you crying, Curtis? No, I'm not crying. It's just, who's cutting onions? I thought you was a road dude. No, I am, man. It's just, I'm tired, man. I'm yawning. How did Thierry miss? You know, that's how I was moving, people. 2006, I can't lie. I was a bit emotional that day. But hey, yeah, it's allergies, man. I got hay fever. The sun's not even out. No, it's just my allergies. They're getting to me. Still, the most painful moment in my life as an Arsenal fan is seeing Thierry Henry miss a one-on-one at 1-0. Still to this day, when I see that goal, I don't know how he missed. He explained it in the documentary, but I still don't understand the finish. He side foots it with no power straight at him. It's the epitome of Arsenal. It really is. Anyway, let's move on. Lewis Skelly, 10 out of 10. You're a beast. Give him the new contract. Give him the new... Yeah, you're not crying. I'm not crying. You're crying. You know what I mean? Benadryl settings. You're right, TV1. The man of the match for yesterday for me. Listen, some of you may go with Lewis Skelly. But this guy, green screen settings. For me, the best signing Mikel Arteta's made at this football club. The best signing. I'm going to end that poll. 68% say keep Kieran Tierney. I'm with you. 1 year deal. Bin Zinni, bin Kivior, Lewis Skelly and Tierney as our left backs. No problem. This guy yesterday, I think Lee said it. He said he played like he was from Islington. Some players, people, they just get it straight away. They get it. This guy gets it. This is the best signing since Mikel Arteta has been the manager. Nobody better. And number 6 is the king of Brazil. Ole, 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 ole. What a player. Hairline and teeth, veneers and hairlines everywhere, people. What a Turkish trip. The guy came back a new man. Give him the armband. Ødegaard should actually look at him and go, you know what, Mikel, I'm going to take the decision out of your hands. Because we know Mikel Arteta's never going to go to Ødegaard and take the armband off him. He's way too nice for that. Ødegaard should go, you know what, mate? There you go. You have it. Just give me some tissue because my nose is full of snot. But you take the armband. 10 out of 10. Yeah, I said it. I don't care if they put it down as a Solanke own goal. That is Gabriel's goal. The celebration, the hype. The man's swinging the shirt around the pitch. He's celebrating in front of Tottenham fans. I've seen enough. I love this guy, Gabriel. He's becoming my favourite player. Honestly, I love this guy. 10 out of 10. Man of the match. The clearance against Solanke. You're spot on, Greg. It's just brilliant. He's better than our strikers. Play him up front. Ødegaard can't shoot. Havertz is playing hide and seek in the Emirates. Sterling, I mean, he's running around like he's in the Olympics. 4x100 metre relay. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. You're just a monster. You're an absolute monster. Lewis Skelly or Gabby, whichever one I'm cool with, but he gets a 10. You're right, TV1. Think about it. Our manager was on the verge of selling him to Saudi. We were going to bin him to Saudi and sign Laporte from Manchester City. Can you imagine if we'd done that? If we'd just binned Gabriel for cash? Oh, my God. What a player. 10 out of 10. I love that guy, I'm telling you. When he walks on the pitch, I'm telling you, he's hearing a different song. He's not listening to North London Forever. He's got DMX playing in his mind, I'm telling you. Let's go into the midfield. Thomas Partey, I'm telling you now, very underrated performance yesterday. Very, very underrated performance. I give him 8 out of 10. Wins the ball back off Basuma, gives it to Ødegaard, Ødegaard to Trossard, and scores. I thought he went about his business very well. Actually, later on in the show, we're going to talk about, it looks like Thomas Partey's leaving in the summer, possibly. We'll go into detail about that, but I'll give him 8 out of 10. I thought he just dominated their midfield. Basuma, a player that we desperately wanted at Arsenal, he got dragged at half-time. He got dealt with. Dealt with off at half-time. North Yonkers forever, man. Come on. Oh, where my dogs at? Come on, man. But yeah, 8 out of 10 for Raheem Sterling. Declan Rice. Declan Rice put in a hell of a shift yesterday. Every time I watch Declan Rice at the moment, he just looks shattered. I don't know what it is. He looks shattered. I feel like Declan Rice needs sending on holiday for 2 weeks, all inclusive with the family. He's putting in a hell of a shift. I feel like this box-to-box role is asking more running from him. He's obviously recovering from the broken toe. I don't think he was as good as Partey, but yeah, he put in a great shift and got an assist. I'll give him 7.5. 7.5. Just below Partey for me. He needs the Dubai trip. But he put in a shift. I think he's doing too much running. I think Rice is doing more running for Arsenal than he was at West Ham. And that's crazy. You would have thought he would have had an easier time of things at Arsenal than at West Ham. Big C is on form today. No, he needs all-inclusive. Honestly. You know, just think about it. How good is it, by the way? I got to go full screen for this, right? Because I'm imagining this now. It's cold right now as well. How good is it when you're in a nice hotel? When you're in a nice hotel and you're laying on that sunbed, the sun's just beaming down on you, right? The pool's there, the palm trees are there. How good is it when you're all-inclusive in the hotel? You've got that wristband on, right? And it's a certain colour, whatever colour it is for all-inclusive. And you're looking at other people like, oh, you're not all-inclusive, right? Nothing on your wrist. It's like walking around with a Rolex. You just walk to the bar and you're like, what am I going to have? I'll have a strawberry daiquiri. I'll have a lager. What do you want? You want a Prosecco? Yeah, and a Prosecco as well. And you just walk off with the tray. You're like, oh, dear, what a feeling. Instead, I'm sitting here in the house, cold. The radiator's on. It's probably charging me about £15 a minute. And it's grey skies out here. What am I doing? I think eventually I need to move out of England. I've realised that living in a cold country just doesn't suit me. I'm a tropical person. Do you know what I mean? I'm a summer baby. I'm born in the summer. I need to live in the sunshine. But anyway, we get past 100k and beyond, people. I'll be out of it. All-inclusive is the only way I can vacate. Yeah. The only thing is you have to make sure the food is good. On the flip side of that, you go all-inclusive and that food ain't good, boy, you're in all sorts of trouble. You spent all that money and they're giving you some dry dinner and you end up going to restaurants anyway. You know, that ain't good. You got to make sure you know what you're doing. You know? So, yeah, man. All-inclusive, yeah, you end up stuck in the hotel. That's the only thing. If the hotel food ain't banging, but if it's good, woof. Amo said, I love this weather. Born in December. Winter, baby. Yeah, fair enough. Start streaming from the Caribbean. I'm telling you, I'm ready, man. I'm ready. Tropical climate. Martin Ødegaard. Less cheerleading, less snot, more action. The only thing, get them pillows off your feet, mate. He's sponsored by Nike. I thought he wore vapors, mercurial vapors. The guy is putting his bedroom pillows on his foot. What has happened to Martin Ødegaard's shot power? Where's it gone? 2 years ago, 15 goals. Tottenham away, edge of the box, bottom corner. Newcastle away, edge of the box, bottom corner. I'm not sure this guy could score from 6-7 yards out right now. I don't know if the ball would reach. He only seems to have power when you give him the ball and he crosses it to the back post. Maybe you should shoot like that. He's lost his power shot plus on FIFA, bro. What the hell? First half, though, he was balling. I'm not going to lie. You see that touch out of the year? Ødegaard's probably having a baby. I'm telling you. Ødegaard's wife had a baby. Ødegaard's playing like he's doing the night feeds, like he's breastfeeding. What the hell's going on? Man's moving like he's drained and he's been feeding the baby for 2 months. I know the night feeds aren't easy, but damn, bro, where's your power? He was good first half. He was really good first half. Second half, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the ball's too heavy. Arteta should complain. They've pumped the ball up too much. I've always said with Martin Ødegaard, and I stand by this. I know Ødegaard divides opinion amongst the Arsenal fan base, right? I think Ødegaard is as good as the team that he is playing in. And what I mean by that, if we're on form, everyone's cooking and we're battering teams, Ødegaard will start to look like an absolute dream. You've seen it 2 seasons ago, 15 goals. I think he got 7 assists. Team of the season. He was balling. Once we hit a rough patch and the performances drop and we're not playing well, Ødegaard drops with us. And I think that's the reality of the situation with him. And I also think the one thing I will say with Ødegaard, though, that doesn't help him if I was going to defend him. Another thing I've always said, if you're a creative player, you're only as good as the player that you're creating for. If you're playing attacking midfield and you create chances for Havertz, you're not going to get the amount of assists that you deserve. Look at the Ozil season when he was on all those assists and then Giroud couldn't hit a barn door for 15 games. Has Ødegaard had an elite striker in front of him the whole time that he's been at Arsenal? Where he can say, if I play a through ball, I guarantee he's going to score it. So that's the thing with Ødegaard. Arsenal need to stop looking at Ødegaard as, yo, he's the guy who's... He's not the guy. He's never been the guy. Mesut Ozil was never the guy. Ozil was get the ball to Alexis Sanchez. Ozil at Madrid, get the ball to Benzema and Ronaldo. He's the creator. He's not the main guy. Like you said, he's complementary to the main man. And right now, we don't have a main man. Saka is the main man. And he's out. So, Ødegaard gets a 7. 7 for me for Martin Ødegaard. I do like him, but he's frustrating. You know, I don't know what's happening with the shooting, why he's got no shot power all of a sudden. But I think you put a better striker in there, you get a better Ødegaard. If you're looking at him to be clutch and win you big games when we're up against it, he's not going to do that, I'm afraid. He's not. He is not that player. And we need to understand that. You know, at times I'm like, come on, you're like Fabregas. Fabregas was not built. The shirt used to hang off him. Fabregas would get a ball, go past 2 players and put it in the top corner. You know, he had that about him. I don't think Ødegaard's got that about him. 7, but he should have scored. He's got to do better in front of goal. And is he over the injury yet? I don't know, but we'd like to say he is. Cole said, lose the bowley hat and get a Cowley one. You know what? I'm wearing the LA hat in solidarity, man. Not for the Rams, but for the city of LA, you know. Great city, and it's going through bad time right now. So, obviously not for Bowley. Ricky said, Big C, power and direction both. His shots look more like clearances. Tierney put it on a plate, but he cleared it from 8 yards. Do you know what I mean, bro? Like, Tierney comes on, should have got an assist. And this guy is putting it wide, and I just don't get it. Why can't he shoot? I wonder if something's not right since that ankle injury. It's like his balance is off a little bit. Like when he shoots, like he's going to fall over. I miss Santi Cazorla. Yeah, we all do. Let's go to the front 3. We'll start with the best, and it will get probably progressively worse. Let's start with Leandro Trossard. Thank you for the ankle breaker. Allen Iverson, Steph Curry, Kyrie Irving, brooking up ankles. I showed you the picture at the start of the stream. I mean, I thought Porro was trying to do the splits. It was wild. Honestly, I thought you did his ACL. And the finish is outstanding. I actually don't think he played that well. I actually don't think he played that well throughout the game. But when you compare him to the other 2 guys who were next to him, oh my days. So for me, You broke a guy's ankle, made the referee stop the game. You scored a great goal. You also ran over to the Tottenham fans, cup in your ear, saying, I can't hear you, man. So for me, that gets an 8 out of 10. You scored the winning goal. I'm sorry. I'm easily pleased, people. You troll the Tottenham fans. You broke up a Tottenham player's ankle. You score the winner. You'll get an 8 out of 10 from me. There's way too much going on there for me. But I don't think he played that well overall. But yeah, man, those moments were legendary, you know. Then, I'm just taking a break before we start with these two guys. Honestly, yeah, we're going to need that red stripe. Wow. Which one do I start with? People, which one do I start with? The donkey from Shrek? Or the 100-meter sprinter? Johan Blake. I mean, what the hell? I don't even know which one played worse. I don't pre-plan these ratings. Like, let's start with Raheem Sterling. I don't actually know who was worse. I'm actually thinking right now, people, before I actually start this, who do you think was worse out of Sterling and Havertz last night? Like, out of the Chuckle Brothers, out of Laurel and Hardy, out of Del Boy and Rodney. Like, Raheem the Dream and Kai Donkey Havertz. I don't know where to start. I think Sterling couldn't deal with Spence. I looked at, you know what? I'll be honest with you, right? I'm going to start with Sterling because this one, we've spoken about Havertz so much. It's like, I'm going to keep that one short and sweet, right? Raheem Sterling, when Sterling walked off that pitch last night, right? The look he had on his face, I wasn't even angry with him. It was like, I wanted Arteta to put his arm around him, say, Raheem, it's been a pleasure. Shake his hand, tell him, go in the changing room, have a shower, put your tracksuit on, get in your car, drive home, and don't come back tomorrow morning. You're free to go back to Chelsea. If Chelsea are not willing to cancel the loan, we don't mind paying the wages. But there's no point you being here at this point. There's no point. He had that look on his face like, I'm just not that guy anymore. Jed Spence pocketed him. What Raheem Sterling needed yesterday was a bottom-of-the-table left-back with not a lot of pace that he could cause loads of problems to. He got 23-year-old Jed Spence, London U, aggressive, pace, tall. It was never going to happen. Sterling probably looking at Spence going, yo, 5 years ago at City, I would have ripped you apart. Right now, that was empty yesterday. Honestly, that was brutal. Sterling had a shocker yesterday for me. 2 out of 10. Do you know what, Thermal? I'm with you. I think the game has left him. I actually thought he was better than that. I thought he was better than that. But, Razor, brother, it's over. As I always say, it's like Mike Tyson getting knocked out by Danny Williams on Channel 5. You realise he ain't the guy from back in the day. Showed a bit of pace, but Sterling is from Aruba. Check the passport. Yeah, man, I'm sorry. They'll revoke your in Gaza for that. Gaza won't accept you for that, brother. The Raz ain't razzing, I'm telling you. It was more like Rizla than Razza. Thin and weak. Leave the football before it leaves you. That was a dreadful performance, honestly. Start learning Arabic ASAP. Yeah. He needs to get the book out today. Rasta Mouse. Yo, do you know what? Yo, when Cruz was younger, we used to watch that, you know, Rasta Mouse. I can't remember the intro song. Rasta Mouse. That is old school. You know, like they're putting on a Jamaican accent, but the guy's from like Huddersfield or something. It's one of them. It's like the Cool Runnings Jamaican accents. I want to hear the Rasta Mouse intro. Because I used to watch that all the time. Zoba doba doba ding. Chianzuma. Yo, let me stop that before they copyright me on CBeebies. Yo, Rasta Mouse. That is legendary, you know. I'm telling you. I used to watch that. Yo, Sterling played like Rasta Mouse last night. Am I being kind giving him 2 out of 10? I'm doing it out of sympathy, to be honest. Rasta Mouse, you know. Give it up. Give it up. Give it up for the easy crew. There it is. You just reminded me, John. Yo. Yo, I'm telling you, they don't know about Rasta Mouse, you know. I forgot about that. Zoba doba doba dang. It was all mad. Is it Lenny Henry doing the accent? Ah, fair enough, man. Premier Inn advert, you know what I mean? Big up Lenny, you know. Cruz used to watch it, man. That was the only culture that I could get in, like, cartoon or animated whatever form on CBeebies, man. You know what I mean? Peppa Pig and all that. I ain't trying to watch that. Little Rasta Mouse, just to make him feel a little bit of culture, you know. But, yo, he played like Rasta Mouse still. He played like Rasta Mouse. 2 out of 10. Let's move on from Raza or Rizla, because it was a paper-thin performance. Send him back to Chelsea, honestly. They say, yeah, you can't cancel the contract. Say, don't worry about it. It's on us. We'll keep paying that 100 grand. You have him back. Kai Havertz. Let me get one thing clear. Oh, it's Reggie Yates, some people are saying, not Lenny Henry. Let me get one thing clear, Kai Havertz. I said this outright the other day. No player deserves the abuse that he got, that his wife got. Real scumbag behavior, not real fans. But let me get one thing clear, bro. It doesn't mean because you got some abuse that I'm going to sympathize with your performance on the football pitch. I'm not going to abuse you, of course, but I'm going to give a true indication of the way you played. He is flat out of confidence completely. He didn't even want the ball yesterday. He didn't want the ball. He was playing hide and seek on the Emirates pitch. I couldn't find him. Where was he in that game yesterday, people? He's getting the ball. You're like, run! Run! And the guy's just like... like he's having a stroll in the park on a Sunday morning, walking the dog. What the hell is going on? Run, brother! You're playing hide and seek on the Emirates pitch. You're on 275 a week. Run! Shoot! Aggression! You're playing against Archie Gray. How old is Archie Gray, bro? Archie Gray is 18. He's the same age as Lewis Skelly. Do you think the abuse affected him? It might have, bro, but let's be honest. Was he playing well before the abuse? No, he wasn't. He wasn't, bro. He played hide and seek. If I give him a rating for hide and seek, 10 out of 10. Nobody could find you. If I give you a rating for the way you played, bro, out of sympathy, I'll give you a 2, the same as Raheem Sterling. What did he do? The standards are on the floor, people. I had people messaging me last night going, oh, Sterling, not Sterling, somebody messaged me last night going, oh, Havertz worked really hard and he blocked a kick from the goalkeeper. I said, brother, is that where we're at? We're complimenting strikers for running around a lot. Eddie Nketiah used to run around. Nobody said, let's keep Eddie because of his work rate. I don't give a damn how hard he works. You're on 275, bro. He's the most laid-back player I've ever seen. He looks like he's going to fall asleep. Lean back anymore. You put him in the Fat Joe video. This is the remix. DJ Khaled featuring Havertz. Lean back, the remix. 2 sitters. The one that he rolled to Sterling. He's the most laid-back player I've ever seen in my life. He needs dropping, but you can't even drop him because who else are you going to play? I would genuinely play Martinelli or Trossard up front. The only problem is The only problem is that means Sterling's in the team, and I don't want Sterling in the team. We've got to buy somebody straight away. We have to buy somebody. Havertz has to come out of this team. Sterling more than has to come out. Let me tell you the moment, and you've just reminded me. Let me tell you what summed up Kai Havertz's performance yesterday. Ball gets pinged into his feet. He has a touch that looks like he's wearing Timberland boots in the middle of New York during the winter. It bounces off him like Lukaku at Man United. He chases after it, then studs the guy on the top of his foot and gets booked. And I sat there and I went, this guy's an absolute mess right now. He is an absolute mess. Let me tell you, oh, Neil from the in-between. Let me tell you something. Top level sport. And I never played at the same level as these guys. I'll be real. Even at the level I played at, there was a whole heap of pressure. Big signings, big clubs comes with big expectation. Kai Havertz, bro, let me tell you something. And this is me being respectful. I don't want nobody to abuse him. Of course I don't. That's a personal level. It's nothing to do with who he is as a person. He actually seemed like a very cool guy on the tour. Let me tell you something, bro. If this world is that bad that you're in at Arsenal and all this pressure and this abuse, it's all too much, go in the office and ask to cancel your contract. You're not going to do that, are you? Of course you're not. You're on £1.1 million a month. You are being paid over £1 million every month. He doesn't deserve any abuse. But let me tell you something. You are in a position of privilege. You've earned that right to be there. Yeah, you're a top footballer at a top level. Produce, bro. Do something. All of us have been in working environments, whether that's when you was at school, you was at college, university, your job, your sport. The higher you climb up that ladder and you get a pay rise and you go, yo, now I can get a bigger house, I can get a better car, I got more money in the bank, life is good. The thing that balances that out is you better perform. You're under more pressure. You're sitting on 275 a week, bro. What are you producing in this team? It's not enough to jog around the pitch and occasionally play a nice pass and, you know, the fans are singing his name last night. Great, you're supporting him, but you're not performing. So I don't feel sorry for the guy from a footballing point of view. I just don't. He is all over the place. He needs to come out of the firing line. We can't do that until we sign somebody. That's the problem. But he invades space. Well, yes. Bro, honestly, let me just do this quickly, right? Let me do this quickly. I used to do this with Eddie and Nketiah when we used to argue about Eddie and Nketiah, right? Liverpool strikers, Jota and Darwin Núñez. I think they're both better than Havertz at the moment. Forest, Chris Wood. This season, way better than him. Isak, say no more. Let's not even debate that. I don't rate Jackson at all. You might have an argument there, but Jackson, I think, has got more goals than Havertz this season. What is going on here? Why is that table running off? Oh, I clicked it by accident. Jackson has got more goals, I believe, than Havertz, although he has missed a few sitters. That one's debatable. I don't rate Jackson. Man City, I mean, Haaland. Mamouche is the backup once he signs. He's better than him. Aston Villa, Watkins and Duran are better than him. You can then... who've they got? Bournemouth. They play that Evan Nielsen. I mean, he looked decent at Porto. I haven't seen much of him at Bournemouth. Fulham have got Jimenez, Brentford, Wissa, Brighton, João Pedro, West Ham, Fulkrug, Champions League final, Tottenham, Solanke, Palace, Mateta. There's arguments with a number of those teams, people, to say they might have a better striker than us. Genuinely. Evan Nielsen scored that curler against us last season, didn't he? Do you know what I mean? It's not good enough. We got to get better, people. You might get a better Havertz, by the way, if you completely take him out of the firing line. And you've got a striker that plays ahead of him, and then all of a sudden he can relax a little bit. I would love Duran at Arsenal, by the way. People saying Delap's better, and they're like near the bottom of the league. Oh, was it Galeno who scored against us? Not Evan Nielsen, but he played well against us, that is for sure. Let's just finish off the player ratings. Who came off the bench? 2 for Sterling and Havertz. Kieran Tierney, great ball in. Should have got an assist. Wasn't on for long. I'll give him a 6. Martinelli, 3. Headless chicken, running off the pitch. Zinchenko, shaking hands with Tottenham players while he's warming up. Tries to hype up the crowd. He gets a 3. Mikel Merino, did he touch the ball? 2. Don't even notice him. Arteta, I'll give him an 8. Big win. Under pressure. Needed it. Well done. Now let's build on it, people. Let me read out these super chats, then we'll get down to business when it comes to the transfers. Arteta shops at Chelsea home bargain store, and we need ban him from that store. I don't want to see any Chelsea rejects at this club again. How are we turning up with Jorginho, Raheem Sterling, and Kai Havertz all at Arsenal? That is madness. Spar said you called it. Arsenal going for nobodies again. Rashford loan on deadline day. I want Rashford to sign for someone quickly, so that doesn't happen. Gunnar Neal said, hey, I know in-betweeners need Sesko loan to buy deal. Big up to Gunnar Neal. And SM said, Havertz, same as me. I work hard, but I score no goals for Arsenal. Exactly. And Stay Humble said, would you swap Saka for Isak? I would, to be honest. I'm just going to say no, because there's no progression. Like, you put Isak in our front line without Saka, what the hell's he going to do from... Who are you going to play out wide? We're a mess either way, so no. That's not what you do as an ambitious club. You don't give up a big piece for another piece in the front line, you know? You got to add Isak to that front line already. And Saka's huge for us, man. He's also the face of the club as well, which is important. Get the likes up, people. We've got 3,250 of you in the comments. Big up the Twitch gang as well. Big up the whole C unit. Let's get to 1,500 likes, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. I think we're about 90 away from 88k, people. So get involved. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. The hunt is on for 100k before the end of the season. Right, let's talk transfers. We handled business last night. Very good win. We got Aston Villa at the weekend. Tough game. Unai Emery. We know everything that comes with that game. Daniel Marlins just signed for them. This was a game that potentially ended our season last year. But the breaking news came out earlier regarding Arsenal making a move for Benjamin Sesko. The only thing I will say with this news story at the moment is it's coming from Sam C, who is a reporter for the United Stand. Now, people say he does have inside information. However, I would not say this is a tier 1 source. Nobody from the mainstream press is running with this story at all. Nobody. Maybe as inside scoop, but I would say it's a tier 2, tier 3 source. But we will discuss the story and we'll see what we think about it. He said, exclusive, Arsenal are in talks with RB Leipzig for Benjamin Sesko. Told Arsenal want a loan with a buy option. Leipzig want money up front or an obligation. Understand Arteta has spoken with Sesko on more than one occasion. Let's break down, first of all, what he is saying in this. Arsenal want a loan with a buy option. I mean, are you telling me there's any way on earth that Leipzig would loan out one of their top players on loan with an option? So we could take him for 6 months and say, nah, take him back. He's one of their main players. So that there's no way on earth that deal ever happens. Loan with an obligation. He's saying that Leipzig want money up front or an obligation. Why would Leipzig? Remember, Leipzig are sponsored and owned by Red Bull, a massive company. They've got money backing them. They're in the Champions League, or have been. Why would they loan him with an obligation? Why would they do that when they're chasing a Champions League place? I don't understand why they would do that. Now, the only part that could make sense is maybe Leipzig are willing to sell him if the money is paid. Now, that would make sense. Now, I've read a story, basically, Bild, which is a major article in the German media. They say that when Sesko signed a new deal in the summer, his 55 million release clause was taken out of it, but there was an agreement that if a top club offered 63 million pounds, he would be allowed to leave. 63 million pounds is 75 million euros. Obviously, they deal with euros. Klopp is the head of recruitment over there with the Red Bull club, so that is who Jason Ato would be dealing with, Jurgen Klopp. I don't think Klopp would make himself that popular if he let Benjamin Sesko go to Arsenal on loan. I don't see any way how Sesko joins Arsenal on loan. I do think, and the second part of the story actually comes from Gunnar Blog. And like I said, none of the mainstream media are running with this yet, which is why I'm sort of, I'm not going to get too carried away with whether this is happening. Gunnar Blog said Benjamin Sesko remains of interest to Arsenal. His intention has been to finish the season with Leipzig, but the right proposition from the right club could see that position shift. Remember, I think this is how we need to look at this situation, right? Let's break down the situation. Benjamin Sesko apparently was very impressed by the Arsenal project in the summer, but decided to sign a new contract at Leipzig rather than join Arsenal. You've got to ask yourself, why did he decide to stay at Leipzig rather than come to Arsenal? For me, the way he was probably approached in the summer, from what I'm gathering from what the Arsenal staff who I speak to on the tour were saying, was Arsenal were going all in for Havertz. They felt he was the guy. Scored 13 goals. They felt he could score more if he had a full season. They clearly went to Sesko and said, if we sign you, you're going to be used in rotation. You're not going to start every week. You're effectively going to be the backup to Havertz, but we want you to challenge Havertz for a first-team place. That was his first season in the Leipzig first team. He's thinking, he was 20 at the time, just turned 21. I don't really want to go to Arsenal and sit on the bench. I'd rather stay at Leipzig, start every week, play in the Champions League. He knows the city. He's settled at the club. Don't leave. I think the approach now from Arsenal would be different. Because number one, Gabriel Jesus is out for 9 months. Number two, Havertz is completely out of form. I think if Arsenal approach Sesko now, that conversation is very different. Jesus is injured. He's going to leave when he comes back from fitness anyway. Havertz is completely out of form. I'm sure he'll find a way to shoehorn Havertz into midfield or use him in rotation. So I think now they may go to Sesko and say, listen, we actually want to start you. We want you to be the main striker now. And Sesko might look at it and think, I'm ready to take that. Now, let's just put it in perspective. Arsenal are third in the Champions League group. RB Leipzig are third from bottom, 60 defeats out of 6 games. They're out of Europe. You don't drop into the Europa League. There's none of it. Leipzig are out of Europe. You can bring 2 players into your squad that have played in the Champions League in the same season, and they're eligible to still play for you. So Sesko can leave, come to Arsenal, still play in the Champions League. You're allowed to do that now. They've changed the rules. So it's actually a no-brainer. You've also got to look at it like this. He was on 50 grand a week. We would have probably offered him 100. He's now on 100. So if he leaves, we'll probably give him 150. So all of a sudden, within 6 months, he's gone from 50 grand to 150 grand. And instead of being a squad player, he's now the starting striker. Now, I've always said, and I will stand by it, my thought process of Sesko. I don't know how good he is. I've watched him probably 4 or 5 times. When we were linked with him, I started making a point of watching him. Watched him in the Euros. I thought he was poor. I've watched a couple of Champions League games. He hasn't actually looked that great. But he's looked good in the Bundesliga games. He looks very quick for a tall guy. 6'5". He's extremely fast for a player of that height. But is he good enough? Is he good enough, people? And people in the chat who've watched him more than me, please give me some insight. Are you happy with this signing? You've got to remember, if we go and spend £63 million, which is the verbal release clause, we're not getting Isak. We're not getting Gyökeres. We're not getting Osimhen. This is the striker signing. Havertz and Sesko. So you've also got to think, would you rather wait for somebody else? Or because we're 4 points behind Liverpool, have we got to go for it now? I mean, what do you guys make? Let me know in the comments. Guti said you guys should replace Ødegaard. Uncle said Sesko, Dusan, and Jonathan David. Don't know about Jonathan David, you know. RSPB said Arsenal would haggle with anyone. Embarrassing. Sell Havertz. I would sell Havertz, but they won't. Claudia said, big up C Unit from Waikiki Beach, Hawaii. Oh, man. You're lucky, bro. I'll be here for about a year on business. Damn. You're living, bro. You're living. Brian B, how many hair flicks per game? Hit the like button, people. Ødegaard business. And Carl said, rather go for Santiago Jimenez or Omar Mamouche. Fabrizio tweeted not long ago, Mamouche deal is on the verge of being completed. 60 million. I don't know if that's 60 million pounds or 60 million euros. But yeah, Mamouche close to joining Man City. And he scored a lot more goals. One thing I will say, I tried to reserve judgment on strikers because I'll be totally honest. When we were linked with Isak from Real Sociedad, even though I'd watched him a few times and thought he looked really good, his goal record wasn't the record of a striker that you were thinking, get him to my football club. And it's similar with Benjamin Sesko. If we're being totally honest, when you look at his numbers, you think, is that really going to make a huge difference? But you've got to hope he comes to a different league and he turns it into something else. 14 league goals last year, 8 league goals in 17 games this year. I mean, he's not ripping that league up. When you compare that to Mamouche, who's going Manchester City to just be a squad player behind Haaland, Mamouche has got 15 goals and 9 assists in 17 games. 24 goal contributions in 17 games. Sesko's got 10 goal contributions, 8 goals, 2 assists. But he is 6'5" and he is 21, where obviously Mamouche is a lot smaller and he's 25 years of age. So I don't know. I'm not sure with this deal. Like, I'm not going to write him off. I'm not going to sit here. People saying I'll be calling him Tesco within 4 months. I mean, I hope I'm not. I've called him that before. I'm not going to write him off. He's 21. He's big. He's powerful. He's quick. He's got a powerful shot. Knows where the back of the net is. So I will give him a fair opportunity. My concern is just if we spend 63 million on this guy and it doesn't work, that would mean Jesus 45, Havertz 65, and Sesko 63, and you still haven't found the answer, you know. But if I was drawing up a list, he wouldn't be at the top of it. But if he joins the club, I'm prepared to give him an opportunity. And listen, one thing I always say is that I like the manager, whoever the manager of Arsenal is, I like the manager to get the player that he wants. Arteta clearly sees something in Benjamin Sesko. He wanted him in the summer. He wants him now. There was rumours he was going for him again in the summer anyway. So this is obviously the striker that he wants. And they said a project striker. It's just as a fan 5 years into the project, do you want a project striker? I think we all wanted that striker that we felt like he's at it right now. Mamouche apparently is 6 foot, so he's actually not that small, to be honest. He's better than everything we have, said Kasim. Arteta saw something in Havertz. Yeah, exactly. And let's be honest, we saw that picture, bro. 31 players, and about 8 of them have been successful. So, do we really trust his talent ID? Would Leipzig be interested in buying Arteta? I mean, we'll swap him for Klopp. Give us Klopp. They can have Arteta as director of football. Isak, I think Elliot said there, we'll get Sesko now and get Isak in a year and a half. I mean, wouldn't be bad, but He might be worth about 150 million by then. Did you see his goals last night? Gunners Den said, Duran is the answer. Swagger, dribbling, shooting from outside the box, and an aerial threat. I think this summer, Villa will be under pressure if somebody comes to sign one of their strikers. They're not going to be able to keep hold of Watkins and Duran. They're both too good to be rotated. Sweaty Betty loves Moretti. What a name. Said, big up Curtis anytime your show comes on. The Morettis come out. Now, what I'm trying to figure out there is the show so good that you've got to crack a beer and just sit back and just vibe because you love it so much? Or are you drinking a beer because you're struggling to get through it? I'm going to say the first one. It's got to be the first one. You're cracking a Moretti. You're chilling. We're vibing. You know what I mean? I'll put it down as the first one. Big up yourself. If it's the second one, then I apologize. You know what I mean? Duran is class. I'd love Duran. Hey, Selassie said the latter. You're brutal, you know. I would give you a 3-minute timeout, but you know what? I put it out there by saying that, you know. Oh, someone's angry. He's angry. He said, "Rude boy, shut ya, Matt. You are short. You have short memories. We'd be nowhere without Arteta. The club would have disappeared. He saved us." I'm not being funny, mate, but we did exist pre-Arteta. I don't know if you know that. And we've had a decent history before Arteta made it to the football club. So you can hold 3 minutes. I'll give you 3 minutes to look at some of the previous seasons. Wenger actually won 3 FA Cups in his last 5 years. Emery got to a Europa League final. We've been invincible. We've had a guy called Thierry Henry. So, fantastic. I'll give you 3 minutes to figure things out. But apparently we'd be nowhere without Arteta. Okay, fair enough. So if we'd got Ancelotti or, you know, somebody of that level, okay, no, only Arteta, right? The only guy in the world that could have done anything at this football club. But Arnie slots on top of the league, but yeah, let's not get into that. Ban him for life. Arteta's lawyer has to be rage bait. People assume that without Arteta we'd be nowhere. Who's to say we wouldn't have won the Premier League? Exactly. What about that theory, eh? What if we'd be even further without Arteta? Let's be honest, it took Arteta 3 years to get in the Champions League. How do you know we wouldn't have got there quicker? How do you know we wouldn't have won the league? Relax yourself, man. Hold a simbin. If you come back with a clear mind, you can continue. Sesko, though, people. What do you guys make? What's the last poll that I had out? Let's get a Sesko poll out. Have I got a poll there now? No, we haven't. Let's get a poll out. Would you sign Sesko now for 63 million? Now for 63 mil. Bear in mind, that might stop us buying a striker in the summer. Because Havertz will be here. Sesko will be here. Jesus will be injured. There's no way we're going to add another striker. There's no way we're going to go 4 strikers at the club. So we'll leave the poll there. Bilal says, big up Curtis, much love. Always speaking facts. Big up, bro. Sesko is good for our team, said Camel. The one thing he will be is, well, I actually don't know how good he is in the air, actually. And just because he's tall actually doesn't mean you're good in the air. Dre said loan deal, but I can't see Leipzig letting him go on loan. He actually scored and got sent off last night for Leipzig. 2 yellow cards. But he did score. Openda was sent off as well, so I'm assuming it was a feisty game. Who did they play? They played against Leipzig, against Stuttgart. They lost 2-1. Benjamin Sesko scored, sent off for 2 yellow cards. They were 1-0 up. He scored in the first half. So, yeah. Red cards as well, people. You know, we've had a few red cards. So, yeah. I would sign Sesko, said Miles. Al said he's a garbage player. Waffy said, do you think Newcastle will accept to sell Isak in the summer? I mean, listen. Isak last night, 2 goals, 1 assist. The most informed striker in the Premier League. That price is going up and up every week, bro. Let's be real. We thought it'd cost 100 million to get Isak out of Newcastle. You're looking at 120, 130, 140. It's going up. And I don't see the Kroenkes paying it. I just don't. I hope, but I don't see it. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm just looking as well. I mean, mainstream media. it looks as if, again, they're still not picking up on this Sesko thing. Nobody is running with it apart from this Sam C. So either he's got the most unbelievable scoop ever or he's absolutely chatting waffle. Nobody in the whole of media seems to have that report. I'm sure we'll get more on it later on in the day. They'll either deny it or we'll get news of something happening. White Glove said anything is better than Havertz. That guy is lost. We are at that point. We are. Spar said Gyökeres is the true bar raiser as a striker, not Sesko. I just have this feeling, and I hope I'm wrong, but I think when you're looking for the missing piece, and the striker is one of the missing pieces in our team, buy somebody that's on fire. Gyökeres is on fire. Isak's on fire. Sesko is not on fire. I feel like he's still a development project. It's like buying a house that hasn't been built yet and they're showing you the pictures. Like, it looks great, but I hope it looks like that once it's done, you know. Like, we've probably got an idea of what Sesko can become at Arsenal, but is he going to become that? I feel like we made project signings 2 or 3 years ago. Now I want the finished article to come to the club. Sonny said, Big C, this Sesko kid is the answer. Haaland upgrade. You have to be trolling. I'm sorry, you have to be. You've got to be trolling me. There's no way at this point that you can be looking at Sesko and saying he's a Haaland upgrader. You just can't. Not with a straight face. Like, you got to be laughing. You must be pulling funny faces while you're saying that. Anyway, let's move on from Sesko. I'll leave that there. And listen, Chris, 100%. If we sign him, I will give him a chance. But will I be doing cartwheels and throwing parties in the street if we sign him? No, I won't. I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about potentially players on their way out, people. The Telegraph reporting today, Thomas Partey and Jorginho are being pushed towards the Arsenal exit door in Mikel Arteta's midfield rebuild this summer. What are your thoughts? And why are these two players being pushed out of the door? Is this simply a case of they're in their 30s, they're on decent wages, and we want to do something else? I'm going to be totally honest. I'm going to be totally honest, right? And it's an uncomfortable conversation. And of course, innocent until proven guilty. But you know what I'm going to say. Jorginho has shown nothing this season to justify keeping him at the football club. We probably shouldn't have signed him in the first place. He was already washed up at Chelsea. And he's older. He's 33. Get rid of him. Makes complete sense. Clubs are interested in him in Brazil. Thomas Partey this season has been Arsenal's best midfielder. And he's 30. There's no way on earth you wouldn't give him maybe a 1-year contract extension. I honestly think that the potential allegations that haven't been proven one way or another hanging over him, I think Arsenal want him out in case anything ever goes wrong with that case. Because the way he's played this season, you would say Rice, Zubimendi, Partey, Marino as your 4. The season he's had. But listen, maybe Arsenal are looking at him going, listen, he's had a good season, but we feel at any time he could just break down. And we're not prepared to risk it. He's on 200 grand a week. Let's just finish the season and get him out. But from a footballing point of view, it's like, yo, man, look at the way the guy's playing. But that Partey situation, until we know what's going on with that, it's all up in the air. Listen, if he's found not guilty, fair enough, you're an innocent man, and that's the end of it, right? But if anything goes wrong the other way, and he's an Arsenal player at that time, I'm telling you now, they will get annihilated as a football club. Annihilated. Because if, you know, people will say they knew about it and they covered it up and kept him in the team. So, you know, hopefully he's innocent, of course. From a pure footballing perspective, it will be a big, big loss the way he's playing this season. But obviously, if they get Zubimendi, that's the kind of DM that he obviously wants. So it looks as if these two are going. I mean, that will leave us with Declan Rice, Marino. Zubimendi looks as if he's on his way. So we would have to buy another one after Zubomendi. You can't go into a new season with 3 midfielders when 2 of them are starting next to Ødegaard. So we would need another midfielder. Do you get another number 8? Because I still don't think Marino's good enough. Do you go for somebody like Eze, who's a little bit more advanced? Do you move Miles Lewis-Skelly forward a little bit? I don't know. But with 2 midfielders, Partey's on 200 grand and Jorginho's on around 120 grand. So we could make a lot of money. Perry said Man City kept De Bruyne. Now he's fell off mid-season. They wish they got someone younger. And you think with players sometimes they just seem to just go, don't they, at one point? Their legs just disappear over one summer. You look at Kyle Walker last season. You would still have said he's arguably up there with Alphonso Davies as the fastest fullback around. All of a sudden, I seen Timo Werner outpacing Kyle Walker. So it can happen real quick. So maybe Arsenal are concerned that if Partey falls off on 200 grand a week, we're stuck with him. But yeah, it's one of them. He's been at the club for a while, been very inconsistent because of injuries, but he is having a very good season. Selassie said that happened to Fabinho at Liverpool. Yeah, I remember. He just went. At one point, I was like, yo, this guy Fabinho, he's one of the best DMs in Europe. And the year after, he honestly looked like a giraffe playing for Liverpool, and they binned him. I think they got nearly 50 million from Saudi for him. And we haven't heard nothing about him since, really. We need to bin Tomiyasu. Yeah. The problem you've already got is, you've always got, is when you've got an injury-prone player on decent money, how are you supposed to sell them? Who's going to take them? How do you sell Tomiyasu to a club? He's had about 5 injuries. Fernandinho as well, yeah. Just seems to catch up with them, don't it? So we'll see what happens with that. Looks like Partey and Jorginho could be on their way out for free this summer. Again, what's very interesting is why allow them to both run down their contracts? Why do Arsenal never seem to have an exit plan when they sign a player? When you get to 2 years, 18 months, 1 year, surely you try and shift those guys. Particularly Thomas Partey, you would have thought you could get 15, 20 million for Thomas Partey, especially he was being linked with Juventus, slower league. You should be picking up a little bit of dough for Thomas Partey, but walking out on a free is not ideal, especially when they're always talking about PSR and balancing the books and things like that. I shouldn't have finished with this story because it's a bit of an annoying story, but again, you won't be surprised. Reports coming out that Real Madrid really appreciate Arsenal defender William Saliba and have made initial contact with his representatives. His name is on the list of targets, but Madrid are willing to take their time and are aware of his contract until 2027. Now, I've read some of this report. It says that they may go for Romero from Tottenham this summer. Obviously, Militao has done his ACL. He's out for 9 months. They need a centre-back this summer. 2 years left on Saliba's contract. They need a centre-back now. I think what Arsenal would have to do is reject anything that Real Madrid lay at our table. If they turned up this summer with a big offer, even 100 million, you say, no, I'm not taking it. You hope then, while he's got 2 years to 18 months, they go and sign somebody else because they need a centre-back. And then you hope you can convince him to sign a new deal. But then with a year left on his deal, they'd get him for a lot cheaper. So this is a difficult one. They need a centre-back this summer. If you've read the reports today, people, big news coming out of Spain. They reckon that Real Madrid have agreed to sign Alphonso Davies and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Verbal agreements for both players to join Real Madrid on a free this summer. I mean, if you're getting Trent, one of the best right-backs, especially on the ball, Alphonso Davies, one of the quickest left-backs, on a free, that's going to leave them with transfer money to go and buy a centre-back. You've got to turn it down. My concern is, if Madrid offered 100 million for Saliba, would the Kroenkes turn that down? We've never seen Arsenal receive any kind of offer in that region to understand how ambitious we are as a football club. You've got to remember the biggest sale is 40 million. 40 million is our biggest sale out of the football club. If they offered 100 million for Saliba, how would the club operate? Bear in mind, we paid like 25, 30 million for him. I suppose a lot of it would depend on, would he extend his contract? Oh, I think what Arsenal need to do now is try and get him to sign a new deal. We're in a dangerous situation with him. I think we all feel like it's lurking in the background. The only way you stop it from happening is winning major trophies. Well, we don't have many options this season. You know, we need to win something and push them out of the way. If he ends up trophyless and they turn up with big money, I mean, Guti, who's a Real Madrid fan, he said, I prefer Gabriel to Saliba, which is interesting. Listen, we've got to see how this season ends, and we got to lay some big money down on the table. If I look at Saliba's contract, William Saliba signed a 4-year deal until 2027. Why they are? I mean, he obviously did that on purpose, signing 4 years. It should have been 5 years. He obviously wanted to keep his options open, that if after 2 years this isn't going well, he can get out. And that's why he's done it. You know, even Saka did something similar, I believe. And William Saliba currently earns £190,000 a week. His contract expires in 2027. There is no option to extend after that season. I mean, if he's on 190, you're going to have to break the bank. You're probably going to have to make him top earner, to be honest. You're going to have to match it. Because if I'm Saliba and I step into the office, I'm going, hold on, what's Havertz getting? 275 grand. You better at least match me up with him. You know? And are Arsenal going to give a centre-back 275 grand a week? You're going to have to probably to keep him at the football club. He's way better than Havertz. So that one, I think Arsenal need to do something about that. They need to try and give him a new contract before Madrid. But listen, this story's here that Madrid have already approached his agent. So they will already be having them conversations. We know he's good friends with Mbappe. It's a difficult one. It is a difficult one, but hopefully they don't come knocking. Gunnar Roller said it, and I'll say it again. Buying Jorginho instead of Caicedo was like getting a vintage Gucci jacket when you needed a padded Moncler coat. It's cold. I mean, yeah. And that Gucci jacket's ripped as well. It's all ripped up. You know, Wiles Me said, any girl analogies about Saliba and Real Madrid? I mean, I think I said one earlier, innit, man? It's like the girl, you know, she's talking to somebody else. You know, it's one of them. It's one of them. It is one of them. It feels inevitable. But, yeah, we will see what happens with that. People, thank you very much for tuning in. Appreciate your support as always. Great numbers on the show. 3.5K in the chat. Big up the Twitch gang as well. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. We're approaching 88K. We're about 70 away from 88K. So subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm back tomorrow, Friday, 2 p.m. That'll be press conference reaction. We'll preview the game against Aston Villa. Unai Emery. Very difficult game. I actually think it will be a harder game than the Tottenham game. I think Villa are better than Tottenham. Tottenham were awful yesterday. We should have hammered them. But Villa, I mean, Villa are not having a great season. They are 7th, but they're only 3 points off 4th. And, you know, Daniel Marlin, Leon Bailey, Watkins, Duran, there's dangerous players there. That game last season, Villa at home, ended our season. I went absolutely mental that day when Leon Bailey was ripping up Zinchenko. So I just hope it's not something similar this time. There's talk of Lewis Skelly getting a new contract as well. We'll talk about that in more detail tomorrow. Big C, give us 2-hour streams, please. You know what, bro? It goes off the news. If there's a lot of news to talk about, it will go on for longer. I mean, I've done an hour and a half today. I usually aim to do 1 hour, but if there's a lot to talk about, then, you know, we go over that hour, man. So tomorrow, I'll be back, 2 p.m, press conference reaction, preview the Villa game. Let's see what happens with Sesko. If we get any breaking news regarding Sesko from the mainstream media, I may go live again, or at least put out a short video going into more detail about that. Big up to everyone locked in. Enjoy your Friday. North London is red as always. We need to win this title, though. Otherwise, Saliba, Real Madrid are waiting. Gabriel, beast mode. What a player. Take care, everyone. Bless.